Hey guys, thanks for watching. So tonight I wanted to talk to y'all about something that I saw on another channel here on YouTube. Now many of y'all have probably heard of the comedian Bill Burr. He's a hilarious guy. On YouTube here he has a channel called All Things Comedy, which is a platform where he showcases other comedians, which is a really cool thing to do. Now on there I came across a podcast called The Dollop, which is hosted by Dave Anthony and Gareth Reynolds. And they really cover American history for the most part. The first podcast I came across was about Ronald Reagan, and it was a two-parter. And they had a special guest on, which was Patton Oswalt, which I found cool because I'm a big fan of his. But the second part of that podcast, I guess, really delved into the 80's and Reagan's administration, his time as president. And it really opened up some pretty dark truths that I wasn't aware of. Now, my generation kind of has rose-colored glasses on when it comes to the 80's because we're all nostalgic for BMX bikes and Thundercats and He-Man and Nintendo. And we were kids in the 80's, so that's what we remember, and we love the 80's because of that. But the 80's weren't that great for a lot of people, and that's in part because of people like Larry Speakes. Now, Larry Speakes was the White House press secretary from 1981 to 1987 under Ronald Reagan. And he's, to me, kind of the architect of the modern Trump Republican, thanks to a quote. Now, in 1983, Ronald Reagan gave a speech to the Medal of Honor Society. And in that speech, he told a story about a pilot who was honored for going down in his plane. And this guy was honored as a hero for going down with this plane. Well, it was revealed later that that story was a complete fabrication. As a matter of fact, it came from a 1944 issue of Reader's Digest. And when he was questioned by the press about it, Larry Speakes said, I quote, "If you tell the same story 5 times, it's true." That's pretty dang scary. I mean, seeing as how that's kind of the tactic that the Republican Party has taken in defense of the president, and you take on the facts that mainstream media is always talking about alternative facts and hyperbole, especially from the president's defenders. Hyperbole. Hyperbole, if y'all don't know what that word exactly means, it means to exaggerate. To exaggerate. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. My grandma called that stretching the truth, and my mom called that lying. And a lie is a lie, and a liar is a liar. Now, I wish that Republicans would just stop sugarcoating the president's statements. Stop trying to church up the fact that he has no conservative decorum. Nothing about him says Republican, other than what makes him a Fox News Republican, I guess you would say. I think that we really need to stop lying to ourselves, guys, and kind of admit that we took a dump on this one, and that maybe we need to stop polishing this turd. Right before I sat down to start this video, there was a report on CNN from a gentleman who was in Pensacola reporting from the deeply red panhandle, as he called it. And he said that Trump voters either don't care or aren't watching, quote, the impeachment hearings. Florida Trump supporters say impeachment is waste of time. And on there, he got him a good cross-section of old, well-to-do white people from Pensacola. Again, he was honest about it. He was talking to Trump voters, not Republican voters, not from people from the real panhandle. Not saying Pensacola is not part of the real panhandle, just not the people who would gentrify it. People who aren't from here, who think says money is speech, that their money is louder than our voices. And I think that it's time that we showed them that that's not the case, that our voices are louder than their money, and that we're going to speak truth to that. That's just my opinion, guys. Hope you liked this video. If you did, like, subscribe, comment below. And if you didn't, y'all know the deal. Subscribe and hit that notification bell anyways. Come back and see me tomorrow. Bye.